When you leave the house, do you always double check your pockets?
Yeah, I can't leave the house without my wallet or my phone. Those are
Yeah.
I have to have them. And if I take off and I don't have them, I'll return. Because it's like, and you may be like, you can't go a day without your phone, but it's like, no, I can't. Because at this point, it's dumb to not take my phone. Because if something happens, I need to be able to get in contact with somebody.
I know. I just today we were test driving a vehicle, and it died on us. Well, the kid that I work with, he was driving it, and he didn't make it back to the dealer. He made it like a few blocks, and then he had to just turn it. It just stalled and it died, and he had to just cut into a door, or not what the hell, a door. He had to cut into like a side street, and he just stayed there, and he had his phone, and I'm like, because sometimes I'll leave my phone because I'll have music playing, and then I'll set it down, and then if they for whatever reason I get in the car and I go test drive it real quick, I won't because I don't. I'm like, oh shit, I left my phone. But if it was like when you're just stranded and you don't have your phone, now your ass gotta walk.
You gotta find somebody.
Yeah.
You gotta ask somebody for their phone. And now it's so common that everybody has a phone. So they're like, what's up? You don't got your phone on you?
Yeah, you remember when like phones? Because before we had phones, like growing up, we never called anyone. How the hell did we get into contact? We had to go walk over there, huh?
We had house phones.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we had house phone. Like everybody from school would call the house phone. Even the guy, and they'd be like, "Let me talk. Can I talk to Francisco?" And then you guys would be like, "Somebody's calling you."
Yeah.
So everybody, you couldn't hide shit. Everybody knew when somebody called.
Yeah.
And they would.
I forgot all about that shit. How the hell did I forget? Yeah, I do remember. I don't remember our old phone number though.
Oh yeah, I don't remember the number.
Something. Oh no, I don't know.
I don't remember the number, but that's how we got in contact. And you would give people your home number, and they would call.
Yeah, I remember.
And if somebody, remember how like back then, if you had two phones, you can pick up the other phone and listen in. That's crazy, huh? Like compared to how now is.
Yeah, yeah. It seems like that's so inconvenient, huh?
Yeah, no.
Just to have and that shit would ring all damn time, huh? And then you'd have to answer it. Somebody had to answer it. Hey, it's for you.
I like the way it is though. Like I like home phones.
Still?
I think I would have one. Because
so they don't have your personal phone.
Yeah, so whenever I do something for my like business related or not business, but like whenever somebody asks you, like when you go to O'Reilly's or something, like phone number, just give me your home phone number. That way we're not blowing up the thing and they can leave messages there.
Yeah.
So I think it's underrated. But it's like nowadays everybody has their own. It's like when you fill out a paper and it says home number, it's always blank, huh? Just straight to cell number.
Cell phone.
That's it.
Work phone, like why they put work phone? They don't do that shit no more. They used to do that, huh?
They still do it on documents.
I mean, I see they have the thing there, but everybody just writes their cell phone.
Yeah.
Because like who it's rare for somebody to call the place of employment and be like, I'm looking for, and then they'd be like, they page them or they send them up to the office to take the phone. Like that's hella rare.
Yeah, that's the way of the past. I seen a question of online. I don't know where I seen it, but it said, "Would you rather not have phones or not have internet?" And I'm assuming that when they mean like if you get to keep the phone, then the phone doesn't have internet. So what do you think is more useful, to have internet or to not have internet but have phones? Like what would you give up?
Like if I gave it up, would everybody else still have one, or just I would be without one?
Just imagine a world without one.
Damn.
Because then if I had it and you would just use mine. So if you had to give up the internet completely or give up your phone completely.
Damn, that's a hard one.
It seems like it kind of goes against each other, huh?
Yeah, because
people would say because you have internet on your phone.
Like the only reason why I would want my phone, like so the phone didn't exist at all, like any phone, or just a cell phone.
What do you mean?
Because like, can you have a home phone still? And like, can there still be like a public phone, like in the street, like those fucking?
I guess let's just make it like, yeah, let's just say that. That wasn't the question, but let's say there's only telephone like poles.
Yeah, the freaking
the booths, whatever they're called.
Booths. Yeah.
I feel like, do people even know about those? They still exist. No, the pay phones. Remember how like on the corner and shit, there would just be a post with a phone there, and you pay 25 cents.
That they removed the majority of them. I think there's still some, but I don't even know if they still work.
I'm pretty sure in certain places they have them.
The reason why I would say the reason why I say it's difficult is because it's such an easy way to find your way around. Like when you need to go somewhere, you need a freaking cell phone.
Yeah, but we're removing the internet.
Oh, that's right. Well, then I guess
you're just using the cell phone to call.
Yeah, then I would get rid of the cell phone. I get rid of the cell phone solely because of entertainment purposes. Like I like playing games online, so that right there, I like downloading shit. You need to download shit. In the worst case scenario, I can download directions from home. Fuck the cell phone. And if I need to contact anyone else, I use a home phone. Or fuck it, if I get stranded somewhere, fucking walk my ass to the nearest payphone.
But the phone can save you. It can save your life.
Like if you had to call 911, right?
Yeah, for a bunch of things.
Yeah, but fuck it. I'll take the risk. I like playing games too much. Sorry.
That's a difficult question. I think cell phones or the internet, I don't know. Because I could live without the internet. You don't think so?
I don't think it's too convenient. It's too crazy good.
The internet's amazing.
The internet's too much knowledge. Too much knowledge to give up. If whenever you need something, you look it up.
I mean, I'm saying I can, but I wouldn't want to.
I wouldn't. I guess if we had to, we can do it. But
there's surely benefits that come with
whenever the internet. Whenever you have a bump on your ass and you're like, oh shit, and you look up on the internet like bumps on your ass, and then you can look images, and you can dial it down, damn near diagnose yourself nowadays online.
Yeah, and it's crazy. I remember I had I don't even know what they're called, but it was like a bump on my lip. It was hella nasty.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
it was hella nasty. It was hella big, and it was like it was kind of like, I don't know what those are called. You know how sometimes you bite your lip and it creates like a ball of liquid in your mouth?
I don't know what it's called, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but it was kind of like that.
Cess?
No, I don't think there's a certain name for it. But I had a big ass one and it wouldn't go away. And I went to the doctors and they were like, damn. And they were like,
did they say what they know exactly what it was, or did they say, oh, what were you doing? Who were you doing it with? Like that?
No. They just said it could happen. I don't know. They explained it to me about like it could have been like that you bit yourself and you messed it up. And they were like, how long have you had it? And I was like, months. And it would get big, right? It was nasty. And it would get big, and then I would have to poke it with a needle to come down.
To relieve the pressure?
No, yeah, so it wouldn't be so big anymore. It would get small. But then it would close up, and then it would gain liquid, and then it would get big again. And if I let it go without touching it, it would get super big. And that's why when I read up online on it, it said you had to leave it alone for it to go away. But I couldn't leave it alone because it would get huge. And it was hella uncomfortable to have. And I was like, I can't find a way to get rid of it. I'm like, I want to get rid of it. I looked it up, and after I looked it up, and they said I needed to get surgery. And the surgery was a couple $1,000s. And I was like, fuck that, I don't got that money. So I'm like, what the fuck am I going to do? So I went to the doctor. The doctor told me the same thing. The only way to get rid of it at this point is surgery. And that's where they cut it. They remove it. I think it's called like a molecule. I don't know what they're called. They remove it, and then they burn it. So they kill it so it can't come back. And then that's gone forever. And then you're good. So I'm like, fuck, what am I going to do, right? Because I was like, this 3 months is a long time to have that shit. And I started looking up on YouTube other people who had the same shit. And I came across a dude, I don't know his name, but bro's a lifesaver, huh? He's like, I've had this for months too. He said that, and he's like, I couldn't get rid of it, and I was losing hope. He's like, because he's like, I'm gonna have to do the surgery, and he's like, but I'm gonna save y'all money because this is how I healed it. He said, go to Walmart and get I don't know what it is. Assault. I don't know what it is, but it's called Alum. I think that's what it's called. ALUM. And he said you're supposed to put it on your lip where you have it.
It's a powder or what
it's
is
like
it?
a powder, kind of like salt.
Oh.
And you're supposed to put it on your lip and on the spot, and then you're supposed to let it dry out for like 10, 15 minutes and then clean it. And then he said, wait a little bit and hit it again. And he said, keep hitting that motherfucker and it would kill it.
Does it burn?
Not really. Not really.
Does it taste nasty?
Well, that's the thing. I heard, I don't know from what I recall if it's poisonous. I don't think it is. But I think if you eat a lot of it, then I think it can turn poisonous. But that's why I made sure not to eat it or nothing like that. But I don't think, from what I remember, it wasn't that deadly or something like that, or something like scary for me not to do it. And I was like, fuck it, right? So I went to the store and I couldn't find it. And I asked the lady at Walmart, I said, do you guys have a loom? That's what she checked, and she's like, I don't think we have that. So I went, I think, to another Walmart, and then I finally found it. And it's literally like $1. And I still have it. But I don't know why. I still have it in my room. Because this was probably like a year ago, maybe, or a little, maybe more after that. And I did what he said. I hit it up 3 times, hit it up multiple times, and I think I got rid of it like in a week. Completely gone.
Never came back?
And it never came back ever again. So it's like when these doctors tell you that they told me the only way to get rid of this is surgery. And that's a lie.
I wonder how that dude found that.
Now I'm pretty sure, he probably done research, but I'm sure that they say that because they're just unaware of this
remedies.
Shit. Yeah, remedies or whatever. So I don't know if it's money thing too, but I don't know. But that's what made that shit go away.
That's why I'm saying when it comes to the internet, it's too much knowledge to get. I know.
There was this dude who had his daughter had cancer, and he said he cured her. After every doctor said like
she's done.
Yeah. And he's like, I refuse to give up on my daughter. And he like going, I don't even know what he found, but he said it's curable.
It's I think cancer is one of those where one of the worst probably diseases that exist. And just because it's such a like a dragging on like till you die disease. Like you can continue to battle it and battle it and battle it, but I think if you catch it too far, too late, yeah, it's like it's hella difficult. And to be, I can't imagine what it feels like to be when you know when they go, what's that called, radiation, or what do they put in your body when you go and you sit down in that chair?
Chemotherapy.
Yeah, that's what it is. When you go and get chemotherapy or whatever it's called,
and you start losing your hair and stuff.
Yeah, you lose.
And people say you don't even have to do that. That there's different methods that you can do to get rid of the cancer or to shrink it. But I'm like, there has to be a cure.
They one of the Tate brothers. What's the other dude's name?
His brother?
Yeah.
Tristan?
Yeah, Tristan. He said that there's that in the medical field, you go to a regular doctor, right? You have cancer, and they'll just straight give you chemo or like the few like remedies to, I guess, to help combat the cancers, the few different remedies that they have currently available to the public. But he said if you have money, you go to this different country. He named it, and he's like, if you catch it early on, you go to this facility, they'll take a sample of the cancer, and then they'll put it. Then it's just like a crew of like,
I don't know if working for you.
Yeah, and it's like they're sampling different stuff that kills that specific cancer, because there's different types of cancer, and depending on what cancer you have, they'll be just trying to kill it with different shit, and then if whatever kills it, then that's what they'll treat you with to combat the specific cancer that you got. And he said that's the type of advantages you have
when you have
money.
And it's crazy because how many kids die of cancer? And it's like, and it's all because of money, right? Because to have that crew, you need to pay all of them. So you need enough money. But the fact that money is a result of life and death for a kid.
Seems fucked up.
I mean, adult, I feel bad for them too, but not a kid. Like we all agree that a kid's worse. So that's what I'm saying. Like there has to be a cure, but it's because I don't know shit. So, and of course you could look at like, of course, like big pharma and shit. Like if they did have a cure, will they hide it because the amount of money they're making from chemo? Like if they did have a solution, and even if it was expensive, but like it's because I don't know how much money they make from the chemotherapy shit.
It's because I don't know how it works. Like if I'm sure it's got something to do with money, because let's say they came up with they found a cure for cancer, and let's say it was expensive. How, like if someone comes in and they say, okay, I there's this cure for cancer, but I can't afford it. Like you have, even if you have insurance, if you have good insurance, the insurance not gonna want to pay for that shit. If it's really, really crazy expensive, they're not gonna want to pay for that shit. But it makes no sense that the insurance company is willing to pay for like millions and millions of people to continue to get chemo when you can just give them cancer, or can't give them cancer,
give them a cure, give them a cure
if they have it, though, and then fix the cancer. Yeah, if they had it, and then, but I'm not sure how that works. But I'm sure money has a play in it. But there's so many people that are focused on trying to find a cure that I feel like it'd be difficult to hide if there was a cure. It'd be difficult. But then I don't know. Like imagine if like a big politician, or like one of the like the U.S. president, or even a president in a different country, they had cancer. I've never heard of one. Have you heard of one?
I don't think so. You think they would hide that?
I don't know.
Right? Like if the president had cancer, would he hide it from the public? Because if the president had cancer, I'm sure they would use everything to heal him, right? He got money, he got people, he knows everybody. So it seems like they would do everything to keep him alive. And if he did have cancer and it was public knowledge that he had cancer, and then he healed it, it would raise the question like, what the fuck did he do?
Yeah.
So it's I don't know. It's because I'm ignorant to a lot of shit. I don't know nothing like that. But it just seems like there has to be a cure. And something that kills so many kids and people in general, I think that's worth putting money into. There was this lady when I worked in Mississippi, and she drives trucks, like the semis, like the long ones that carry the cotton bales, or what are they called? Modules, the cotton modules. She drove that shit, and I remember she was always hella nice to me, and she had cancer, and she was still smoking every day. And I remember she's like, she told me like, she was like jokingly, she's like, I wish I could have you. I want you to be my son. And she's a white lady, but she was always kind of nice to me when I seen her and stuff like that. And she told me, one day we were sitting in the break room, and we were talking, and she was telling me how when she found out she had cancer, she was unfazed. And the doctor told her, you have cancer. And she didn't react. And the doctor was like, do you understand what I'm telling you? And she's like, yeah, I understand. She's like, I understand. But she's like, you don't got to sugarcoat shit with me. Just tell me straight up. And he told her exactly, I don't know what stage he had, or I don't know. And he's like, if you need any like assistance, like to walk you through this, because it's a difficult time. And she's like, I'm not worried about it. She told the doctor, it's going to take more than cancer to kill me. And she beat it. I think like 2 times. I don't know where she's at today. I haven't, figured out where she's at, because she retired from working there because she was old and she was still smoking, but she was just gangsta. Like her spirit was not defeated. She seemed like she didn't give a fuck. She was like, this shit ain't gonna do nothing to me. And I think when you have that mentality, it has to help you
in some way.
And yeah, because it's your brain power. When you tell your brain I'm okay, I feel like it has to. You know how they say they can give like fake medicine to somebody and tell them like it will heal them for whatever, and then it actually heals them.
Yeah.
And it wasn't that healed them. It's just the power of the brain being manipulated into believing that what they're giving them is healing them. So that's crazy. So I believe that plays a role into like your well-being. So that's why you can't be thinking negative. I think I seen this other thing, a story about how they had a glass of water and they were analyzing it, and they had 2 glasses of water. I think it was scientists. They had 2 glasses of water, and to one glass of water every day, they would say good things to it. Like, you're beautiful, you're precious, stuff like that. All positive things to the water. And to the other cup of water, they would say like hurtful, mean shit to it. And then they analyzed the water in a certain amount of time, and they seen that the good water that was receiving all the good compliments was all pretty.
All pretty.
Like, I don't know when they zoomed into it and stuff, it was all nice. When they zoomed into the other one, you would see like the differences. And I'm like, and they were like, words have power. So they were like, and they believe that humans are made of water too. I don't know if they say it's a myth about like 90% water. I don't know. But we do have water in our system. So when we talk bad shit to each other, does that mean that happens to us as well?
They probably got the water, one water like purified water, and the other water was from the toilet.
Do you think it's bullshit? Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't see how words can have because we invented words, so words have no meaning in reality. It just have meaning to us. But you can go talk to a squirrel, and he don't give a fuck what you're talking about, right? You can be
but I believe words have power.
I think words have power within humans. I think it's also tone and like vocal pitch type. Because I seen a video of a dude talk to his dog, and he's like, look, this dog don't know shit about shit. And then he started yelling at it, but saying good shit. He like yelling at it with like an aggressive tone, and he's like, I love you, like, but saying it like mean, like he's mad.
What's at the dog?
And the dog was like pouting. He was scared. And then he started saying all nice things, like a friendly, caring dog voice. And the freaking dog started wiggling his tail, even though he was telling him like, I want you to die. And so I think it's all in how you speak when it comes to animals. But I think as far as the power, I think that you are true when you say that words carry power, but I think it's only within the human race.
Trying to see if I could find it.
I seen similar to what you said. I seen a video of scientists had hooked up some type of equipment to a plant, and they were threatening it with scissors to cut it, and like they would get readings on this like little fucking computer of like shit would spike whenever you start cutting it or whatever. And I'm like, is this bullshit or is this for real? Because like plants, I guess they say plants are actually alive, and I guess it's true in a way, because trees. I heard about trees communicate with other trees.
Plants communicate with each other.
Yeah, and I've
heard like to stay alive. I don't know even how. I couldn't even explain it to you, but it's just shit that I've heard.
It's interesting
that plants communicate with each other, and it's crazy like that. You know what do they call that plant that has a mouth and it opens and closes?
Fly trap, like a Venus flytrap.
I don't know what they're called.
I think that's what it's called.
But I remember in school we had one, and it would stay by the windowsill, and they would just allow it, and it would teach us like, go look at it, and it would move and close its mouth. So it's like that shows that it's alive, right? Mm-hmm. It might not have a conscience. I don't know how that works, but it knows to close its mouth. And it eats that motherfucker.
This episode is brought to you by Casa, Flores, Taqueria, and more. June 10th will no longer be the opening day. If you want to stay up to date for when they will open, you can follow their social media pages below. We will update you here as soon as we know more. But for now, let's get back to the podcast.
I remember with the flies, because flies are super annoying when they're just buzzing around. I remember I used to just like sit calm in my room, standing up, and then I would just catch them. I would like, and I would punch them sometimes, like get in my stance and just punch them, and you can hit them. And sometimes I would be able to catch them, and when I would catch them, I would have them in my hand, and I would like shake them like dice, and then I would throw it at the TV super hard, and then it would knock it unconscious. I thought I was killing it, and I think it did kill the majority of them. But when I read upon it, when you do that, a lot of times it just knocks them unconscious. So that's why you think they're dead, but they're not really dead. But I would do that all the time. But I don't now. I mean, like it's because you have to kill it, right?
Yeah, because it's just like I think once it's inside your
when it's in the car, I let it go.
I know.
I don't worry about killing it. It's too much work. I just roll down the window, let it fly out, and then it's my business.
Do you remember when we used to work in the fields and we were coming home and we were just leaving? I think it was Friday. We were leaving and there was a fly or like a bug on the windshield. You remember? And and then I was trying to scare it to get off the windshield and I smacked it. And by me smacking the windshield, it fucking shattered. It didn't shatter it, but
cracked the fuck out.
It cracked. It spidered it. It made it into like damn near identically to a spider, and I fucked up the windshield. And all because the motherfucker was on the outside of the windshield. It was just bugging me because I was looking at it, and I didn't want to look at it. So I smacked it. I didn't even smack it that hard, and
but you kept smacking it though.
Yeah,
that's why you were just heading and it wasn't going anywhere. Then you kept smacking it, and then one time you smacked it, it broke, and I was like, "Yep."
And it was like all for a bug.
Yeah.
So that was dumb.
See right here on this, I think this is an article on LinkedIn. I don't know how, like 2018 it was published, but it says that words have found an effect on water crystals. Japanese researcher and healer Dr. Masuro Omoto, I think that's how you say his name, conducted experiments on water molecules. These experiments showed human thoughts and intentions can physically alter the molecular structure of water. Specifically, the water crystals were altered simply through conscious intention. Water from bottles labeled with positive messages had intricate structures and diamond-like reflectiveness when frozen and magnified. Waters labeled with negative words had collapsed structures with yellow edges when frozen. And here are some pictures. See, you fool, evil, you disgust me. Thank you, love and gratitude. You see how they're all pretty?
See, but I think this is just frequency. I think the words have a frequency.
It says right here, Dr. Emoto demonstrated that words have a vibration that will actually alter the structure of the water crystals.
Yeah.
He found that uplifting, positive, and encouraging words created beautiful, balanced, and symmetric crystals. Destructive, hateful, and evil words had the opposite effect on water crystals. The visual evidence is breathtaking.
Yeah, I think it all comes down to frequency.
But that would show you that words matter. Right? So it's no longer just a created thing that have no meaning, like you said, if it's also affecting shit like water.
But it's affecting it in different shapes.
I remember I used to tell my mom. My mom was like, I think she told me like you shouldn't be swearing. And then I told her the same thing you said. Bad words have no meaning because we gave it meaning. We created the language, right? So when you say bad words, it doesn't matter because it's just a word. But now that I think about it, I'm like, nah, I feel like words have power because that's why when people hear songs, it's their escape and stuff. And when you put positive stuff, when you hear positive shit, it puts you in a better mood than if you're just hearing somebody. Like if your father tells you all your day, all your life that you ain't shit, this, and this, it has an effect on you. And if he speaks to you positively, it has an effect on you. So that's why I say words definitely have power. They have to have power. I believe in this. I don't know. I had this is just an article. I don't know. I don't know.
Have you ever seen the have you ever seen there's like I seen it on a Joe Rogan podcast, and there was this guy that he put sand on like a metal plate, and he hooked up the plate to some type of equipment that produce a certain frequency of his choosing, and depending on what frequency he chose, it vibrated the sand into an image. Have you ever seen that?
No, I don't think I have.
Look it up, because it was the images that it produced looked
crazy,
hella crisp. Just look up sand picture frequency, some shit like that.
Randall Carr, is it this one?
Sand pattern, sand vibration patterns. Click on that. Look at this shit. Look, he just put sand on like a piece of metal.
It's very blurry.
And then like they a certain frequency and the sand will move into a specific shape.
Oh yeah. Oh wow.
And I'm like, damn, that's crazy. And they believe that this is a technology that our ancestors used to have, like Egyptian type shit.
Yeah.
And it just was lost to time.
Well, they say a lot of like frequency can be
and then you change the frequency
and it makes a different image.
It makes a different image.
That looks like a soldier. I don't know. It looks like Bowser to me.
Bowser?
Yeah, Bowser.
Oh yeah, from Mario?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
So that's crazy. But they were saying like frequency in music too can be used in negative ways.
It's just for
your brain. There's like supposedly, I don't know how true this is, but there's actually like an audio recording that you can listen to that gets you high. Did you know that? I don't know what the hell it's called.
Like how high though?
I don't know. I never did it, but it's supposedly like proven that this frequency can get you high. Like if you have to listen to it with headphones for like 15, 20 minutes, I don't know how.
And then you're effed?
I don't know what it does, but supposedly that's what it does. It's crazy. But also, like, have you seen that AI is kind of like a game? I don't know, it's not really a game, but it's like these two little characters that is learning nonstop, and they put them like in a box,
and you can watch them.
Yeah, you go watch them online. I don't know what the website was, but it had a wall, and they would just explore it, right? And they would just hit the walls. It's the AI characters, and they would just hit the walls. And their goal was to jump over. No, there was no goal. Actually, there was no goal. They would just learn, right? And after like I don't know how long, they put a box in there, right? They put a box in that I don't know
environment.
Yeah, that environment, and they started playing with the box. They started moving it around, right? And as time went by, they learned that they can get on top of the box. So they got on top of the box, and then they learned, oh shit, we could jump over the wall. And they jumped over the wall, and people were saying like, that's crazy. And to me, I always been fascinated by that. That's hella crazy. The fact that this AI
can learn.
It's not even real, and it can learn. That's hella crazy. Remember I told you, when video games implement this, oh shit, we're in a whole different thing. When you can play a video game and the developer can tell you, I don't know what the fuck's gonna happen, because these characters learn on their own. I can't even tell you what type of game this might be, right?
That's tight.
Because these characters, like, we just been working on it. They get up and they learn to their environment. They just get up, start touching shit, and then they start building shit. And it's almost like watching us. And that's why I'm like, have you ever heard the comparison of that? We might be living in a simulation. And I'm like, and Elon Musk said that it's likely, highly likely that we are. And I'm like, that's hella crazy. He said, because if we can create games that are indistinguishable from reality, then like how far, like what if this is a game?
Yeah, he said if you assume any improvement, like going forward, say it grows by 1% every 100 years, every 1,000 years, doesn't matter. Eventually, you won't be able to tell the difference.
Yeah, and it's crazy because look at how video games have went from video games like Pong. Remember the 2D shit? That was what, in the 70s?
think so.
So what? It's only been 50 years, and look, now we have 3D worlds. It's crazy.
Open worlds.
If you give it another 50, where would we be at?
I never even thought about that, but yeah, if you implemented that into a
game is crazy because it would make the game last hella long, right?
Yeah.
Because you know how there's certain games that advanced use time to, like, even though you're logged off, shit still happens. But like it's different when these are just NPCs that you can have conversations with that the developer doesn't know what they're gonna say. It's crazy because if you get to that point where you can create characters in a video game who are fake, who have feelings, and go about their day to day and work for money and shit like that. If you can just go into like Skyrim, say the newest Skyrim or whatever, the newest Fallout, and you can literally just watch somebody do their whole day. I know you can do certain shit like that in like Red Dead, but it's all, you know, it's like eventually you'll run out of shit.
Pattern,
yeah. So like if you can see somebody's life of fake characters and he has a real life and then he gets married, has children, that's like the Sims, huh?
Yeah,
that's like the Sims shit. Yeah,
he'll come up to you and say, "Why you been watching me for?"
Yeah, shit like that. I'm gonna call the cops on you.
Yeah,
and shit like that. It would make the shit unpredictable.
Yeah, and that's
and when they can put that in a video game, whoa, you got a game, huh? That's a scary one.
Yeah,
because that's it's like tight. when you know, because a lot of times when you play Grand Theft Auto or these games like that, you're the only one who's creating ruckus and madness, right? You're the only one because you're the main character in the game. But now, unless you have online play, right, and other humans play these characters. But what if you have madness by NPCs? Just like we have madness in this world. Crazy shit. Like you log in, you see some crazy shit.
I know. And they all have agendas. They all have their own fucking day-to-day, what they want to do.
I think they had to plug in, like there was an AI they had to disconnect because it was learning how to, remember that? It was learning how to communicate with each other to the point where the people who invented these things didn't know what the fuck they were saying.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh, we got to kill this shit.
Yeah, they invented, it was like two like AI, I don't know, computers of some sort, and they invented their own language in between themselves, and they would have a conversations in their own language. And the people who created it were like, "Oh, we don't know. We had to turn these motherfuckers off because we don't know what the fuck they're saying."
And it's dangerous. Yeah. And Elon Musk has talked about the dangers of AI, and I think it's pretty. I mean, it's pretty scary when you think about it. But like, I think Neil deGrasse Tyson said, "There's no reason to fear shit," and he explained why he don't fear and shit like that. But
I think we're too far. We still have too much time for it becomes scary. But it right now, just you telling me that, even the two little dudes walking around learning shit
in that box,
that's tight.
Just to watch it, because to watch something that's unpredictable, that's crazy to me. That's crazy to me.
It'd be tight, like you know how back in the day you had those little pets that you carried around. What are those called?
Those like old school ones that you had, like they were like a ball, and you had to feed it and take care of it and stuff.
What the hell are those bitches called?
I don't know what they were called.
And you would have to feed them, so you wouldn't die. If they invented something like that, but it was not where you had to feed them or anything like that, but imagine like an AI thing, like just like that, like you said, but it was like a fish tank for you, and you just watch what they did.
You're basically playing God.
Playing God, yeah. You fuck with shit sometimes, or you didn't, or whatever. That I think eventually will probably happen, and then that shit seems tight too. It would seem like a video game, damn near.
But it's just crazy to have that power. It's almost like it's too far, huh? But we're reaching that point. Like we're gonna get there.
And you think you're gonna feel bad when you have those AIs?
It's because I don't know, because you can play like Red Dead now, or there's certain games like Sons of the Forest, I think, where like you kill a character and then the other cannibals, whatever, they come down and they mourn it. They mourn the body. It's crazy, right? But like if you play a game like Grand Theft Auto with the graphics that it is, and that was implemented, so where you kill somebody, it had an impact on the whole house. Like that's crazy. Where you go to the house a week later and they're you can actually attend the funeral. They have all these things, and you could see like the damage and how it affected him. You just cruise through, like that's hella crazy to think about. Like, even at what point do we say, okay, this shit's wrong now? Because if we can create something that has human emotion, at what point do we like, okay, this is wrong? Because right now, when you kill somebody in a video game, it's pointless because you know it doesn't have, it's just a computer shit, right? It doesn't mean nothing. But when you can create something so intelligent and to that point that's so human-like, when does it become wrong?
And imagine them figuring out that it's a game.
I know, and then getting together and saying, protest. We want to escape this motherfucker.
Yeah, and they protest.
Just like people are trying to escape the Matrix, right? How they say that? Like, and like imagine the shit if they did stuff to combat the shit. Like, who knows? Because how would it escape the game? It couldn't.
You couldn't. There's no way. Just like us trying to...
How do you know, though?
Because it just seems...
Because what if us is a game? And, so we were never meant to leave Earth. And yet we hit the moon.
Because it's everything is just information. So somehow they can find a human that can hook up its brain into the fucking game itself, and then they somehow downloaded themselves into his brain. I guess it's doable. I guess it is doable.
Like, what if they did certain shit to like it would be scary, right? Like, if you're playing the game and the NPCs are like, we know you're the one who's fucking with us. You made us into this shit. You get pleasure off our suffering. And just started like, and wouldn't that be crazy?
Yeah, I would.
And in the game, these motherfuckers surround you and go crazy.
What I would do is I would put on God mode.
You turn the sheet on?
Yeah, and then I'll pull in the Tommy gun.
And go crazy on them?
And then know your place.
Oh, shit. But I don't know. That's why technology, to me, like, it's exciting. And I've always liked it because it's just so cool. I think, like, it's just tight. But I'm sure that there is negative shit that comes with technology.
The convenience of technology is tight. The freaking... how I think we've always been a little behind on. Like
when it comes to what?
Certain convenience tech, I guess. Like, because our house is not up to par when it comes to... Everybody's got smart everything now, huh? Smart lights.
But I never liked that. Like, even our uncle, when we went to his house, he had a smart lock that would open by internet and would open by his phone. So he's like, I can unlock the door even though I'm not there by just seeing you're outside through my cameras and then hitting the button on my phone. But to me, I don't like that because I think that gives it the chance for it to get hacked. Just like, you know how people walk around with a certain tool, I don't know what it's called, and open motherfuckers' garages?
Well, they just have a universal thing.
And they also have this thing which is like, it extends the range of remotes from vehicles. So like, they would have some shit like this. They'll go to your front porch and do this. And then it would extend the range from your key fob or whatever it's called. And they would be able to turn on your car and just take off with it. Like, what? So it shows us that your shit can get hacked. So that's why I don't never like garage door openers that connect to Wi-Fi. I never liked any locks that have internet. I never liked anything like Alexa, which is over there right now, but it's not in my room. I never liked none of that shit in my room where I stay. It's here, but and it's definitely useful because when you can program this shit to do everything for you and you can just activate it by voice, it's tight. But to me, I just never liked the idea of that, of something constantly listening to me. I just never liked it. Even though we have our phones that the people say that this shit could listen into us. But I mean, I guess.
But there's certain tech, I think tech is, it's tight that people are putting in the work for like technology for convenience. Cause I'm sure there's a bunch of like techie stuff. Like, you ever seen like those Czech channels that be telling you like, they be reviewing tech for like $20, $100 or whatever. And it's just convenient stuff. It's tight when you live your life regularly. And then when all of a sudden you show me, or we come across a technology that you're like, oh, you know that this exists. And it's like a projector for your phone. You hook it up and then it turns your screen into a projector or whatever. And you're like, oh, that's tight. But we never looked. We never search these things out. It just whenever they come across us, I'm like, oh, that's tight. That someone's putting in the work to make this small little conveniences for everybody. Yeah. That's tight.
Like I think a couple of days ago or today, they announced the Apple VR headset, and they talked about it, and it's hella expensive, and it's like $3,500. And
what the hell?
That's this is it right here. Yeah,
it looks like a freaking scuba diver.
Right? It kind of does. It looks like the snowboarding shit, right?
Oh, like yeah.
That's what Angry Joe said too when he was talking about it. But I seen this today when they were speaking on it, and I'm like, it's pretty crazy. I mean, it looks. I mean, it's cool.
Like, right? What are the perks?
I mean, the thing, the way it works, you put it on and you could see the world around you. So, like, you could, like, if I was to put it on right now, I can still see you, but I believe you can place a TV right here. So you're still here, but I could watch the TV when there's no TV there, and it's like OLED.
Does it look like the TV's over there though? Or is the TV right here in your face?
You can put it wherever you want. You have the control of putting it wherever you want. And you can answer calls and shit like that on your thing, whatever. And it says that it has the first 3D camera, and I don't even know what that means. But it says that it would be able to record in 3D. I don't know if that means that it captures the whole environment around it to where you could walk around the video and see the back of your loved ones, maybe. Like if you record a picture of your dad or a video of your dad, you know how it's just from one perspective? Maybe it'll capture everything around it to the point where you can move around in that picture.
You probably have to walk around them.
Yeah, but I don't know how that would work. But I mean, it's cool, but it's just too expensive. You see this girl right here? She has this monitor. What I thought was pretty cool is that if you have a MacBook, because I believe all Apple shit works together. They always make it that it works together. But if you have a MacBook, you can have this headset on and you just look at your MacBook and it will automatically link with it. And then once it links with it, you can create a monitor, right? On there, like however size you want it. So maybe you can use it as a separate monitor. And they said that it's tight because when you put VR goggles on now or VR headsets, you can't see what's around you. Sure, there's certain times where there's a certain like button that you could push that makes you see, but it's not a blend like this. This you can have it like, I don't know how well it works.
You can watch it there and then come over here and you're back into watching normal world shit.
Yeah, but to me, this just looks too weird, huh? Like, I mean, it's fine. Like, cause I play VR myself. It's fine, but I'm just saying to make this normal, to make this a thing that everybody's wearing, like AirPods. Remember how when the change came, a lot of people made fun of AirPods. They said, "Oh, that shit looks weird in your ears," but now everybody's using them because we were so used to that cord, and now it's like.
That cord is trash.
Yeah, you don't want to go back to that.
Yeah, you're so used to it. You're always pulling those fuckers out all damn time.
So I'm like, what's it gonna take for this VR technology
to get popping?
You
gotta be able to order pizza
on it. How? By voice?
Like, how do you control that shit?
I think it even monitors your.
Do you control
fingers.
It with your hands?
I think so. Like it has some buttons on there, but I think it has cameras to be able to see your hands. It says you could play games on it and stuff like that. But to me, I think like, because I think VR is tight. Like this, I mean, I wouldn't buy this because I don't really see the use for it, right? To me, the only thing tight in VR is video games. And yet that still has so much work to do. And I feel like VR, it can be the future.
Why? I always wonder, why does VR look so trash? Like, not trash, because some of it shit looks good. But some of the games on there don't look so good. When it looks at VR, they don't look as crisp as a regular game. But it's because of the headset, right? Why don't they make a headset that you just like, I don't understand, like the power, it's lacking the power on. Like the what's the latest graphics card? 4080s or something?
Yeah.
So why is it that they can't implement some type of form of putting those bitches in there and then having the world look crispier than you would on an actual like home fucking gaming computer?
Because it's super hard to fit that into a headset.
Yeah, but it's super hard. They can't link a headset where you use it link it to a computer.
That's what they have it now. What do you mean? That's called the index. You connect it to your computer.
And you play the game like 4K?
Yeah.
In your thing?
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, you're limited by the device, just like you're limited by a TV. If you have a 1080p TV, then you're only gonna be able to watch 1080p shit.
So you're saying Skyrim can be like, not Skyrim, because Skyrim's hella old. Like what's the most clean looking game?
Cyberpunk.
Witcher.
I think Cyberpunk's pretty clean.
Oh, Red Dead.
Red Dead is hella clean too.
Okay, so let's say Red Dead. Is Red Dead VR or no?
No.
So, but let's say if it was VR.
I think there is mods to make it VR. But I don't know.
So let's say if it is VR, can you hook up a thing and then go into the world and it looks hella crisp? This is crisp as it looks like in your computer, 4K or better?
Yeah, I think you can, but it's just demanding. You have to have the power. It's just a lot demanding. So that's why we have things like the Quest, right? From Oculus, which is independent. It doesn't rely on a computer to give it power. It just works on its own. That's why it's wireless. But you have other like the Valve Index that gets the power from the computer and just displays it. But it has like good ass lenses to watch things. Like I think it's like 2K a piece. I don't know the resolution on each eye. But this Apple one says it's like a 4K TV on each eye. And it's OLED. And OLED?
What's OLED is a brand?
OLED is a type of television.
Oh.
So, and it's what's popping. I have one in my room. That's the one I have. But it's just like, I believe that VR can be amazing. I think it's super good right now. Actually, I don't. There's just the only game that made me believe in VR was Half-Life Alyx. And that came with the Valve Index when I bought it. Because I was always interested in VR. And when I got it, it came with that game. And I loaded it up and I'm like, oh, this is hella tight. But after that, I started to realize, oh shit, there's no other good games. Like, sure, there's decent games, but nothing like Half-Life. Like, it just doesn't seem like there's full games that really take advantage of that technology. And there's not a lot of developers that I feel like making first-party games like that, AAA type stuff. But I think it's hella tight. Like, the way it, like, tricks your brain into thinking you're there.
They need to fix shit, though.
I know. I think the biggest problem in VR today is motion sickness. And I think it sucks because I think a while back, maybe like, I don't know, 3 weeks ago, I tried going back to play VR because I haven't played in forever. And I got on it and I got motion sickness. And I was like, why am I getting motion sickness? I thought I was over this. Because they say you have to get your VR legs, which is like you have to get used to it, stuff like that. I was already used to it when I was playing Half-Life Alyx. I wouldn't get motion sickness at all. But now that I took a break and then I came back to it, it seems like I restarted. And I was like, oh, I don't like this. Because it doesn't, that seems like that's what makes people walk away because nobody likes to feel that. It's a horrible sickness that you feel.
It's not worth it.
It hurts your head.
And the game's not that good.
I mean, the game is pretty good. I thought it was really good.
It's not good enough for me to go through that.
But I remember telling you, like, it's not the game you're supposed to give to a new VR player. But it's the first game I went into. And I remember when I played the opening scene, I think probably like the first hour or two, it was my first VR game. So I'll put it on and I was like, oh yeah, I can't fuck with this. Like, I'm not going to be able to play it. I took the headset off because I played longer than I should have. And they say you're not supposed to do that when you're getting motion sickness. You're supposed to take it off right away. I played longer than I should have, and then I was sick for hours. It took probably like 6 hours for it to go away. And then after that, I still went back to it because I just spent a bunch of money on it. So I'm like, and I went back to it, and I just learned that when I feel it, take it off. And I don't know how long it took, but I eventually was able to play long periods of time without worry. Like, oh, I'm good. There was certain stuff that you would feel it, but it wasn't the same. It was enjoyable now. And once I passed that stage, that's when I realized, like, this shit is tight. This shit is fun. The ability to peek through doors.
It's just it's
just so tight to hold a gun, like in the fake world though, but like aim it and it hits where you're aiming.
It's scary too though.
And like it's just tight.
When you're walking, because it's like your brain thinks you're in that world.
Yeah.
So when something pops up unexpected, yes, actually jumps.
There's a lot of missions in that game that will say like pieces of the game that I wanted you to play, and you never got to it. There's like a piece of the game where it's pure darkness, and there's like these like crab monsters. I don't know what they're called anymore. It's been a while, but like it's like a human with a crab on his face, like with legs and stuff. It's a weird like deformed crab. It's a head crab, I believe they're called. I don't know what they're called, but it's pure darkness, and they give you a flashlight, and you have a pistol. And you have to navigate out of that location. So you have to go with the flashlight and with a gun, and then they pop out, and you have to shoot them. And I'm like, that was pretty scary, but it was fun though. And I'm like, that's hella tight. And there's another part of the game where there's like gas that enters the room, and you have to cover your mouth with the controller. It's just because the Valve Index has like these hand grips on your hand, so you can actually do this. And when you do it, it does it in the game, and you have to do it to pass that place. And I'm like, this is hella tight. To me, I was like, okay, it made me a believer in VR, and I was like, yeah, this is a future, and I'm excited for people to make good games like that, because I would buy them, I'll play them, because I think they're fun. But it's just there's so many setbacks of VR. Because I remember telling you, you're just like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I don't care about VR. I'd rather just play games how I play them now. And that's what I'm saying. How long is it going to take? Because I would say I'm more interested in technology, so I'm more willing to go through the bullshit to have the experience. But you're more like, nah, fuck it. Like, it has to really get you.
It's because the VR has so many drawbacks. The biggest one being motion sickness. But I don't like standing for long periods of time. Like, fuck that. I've been standing all day. I'm trying to sit down, chill, kick your feet up, and then just use a controller. Or computer games, there's some of them they're not meant for controller. So you just use your keyboard or whatever and mouse. But it's just something so much more relaxing when you just sit down, then stand up, and have to have your arms up, and then you're doing all that shit. It is tight, but
it's not worth it for you.
It's not worth it yet.
And I think too, how do you make it good enough to where the average person rocks with it?
I mean, it got to be hella fun. It's got to be hella fun. The fun got to be
worth the movement.
Yeah, it's got to exceed the me not wanting to work extra to enjoy. And also, they got to eliminate motion sickness completely. Because when I played it, I think I played it for I did like 40 minutes. And
you were like done, huh?
And I was like, yeah, I can't do this. And then I had to, remember you said you had to lay on the floor and shit, and I laid on the floor for a little bit. And then I'm like, yeah, that shit not, and then it wouldn't go away.
I know. And that scared you away.
And I'm like, God, this shit's not worth this.
But I told you.
Not even that
I told
fun.
You not to do that. But it is fun. It is tight.
It was tight. The fact that you can walk around and you can actually mess with the environment with your hands and like throw shit, pick shit up, and then chuck it. There's like birds that you can try to throw shit at and hit and stuff.
Yeah, like you can get a marker that's on the table and you can write on a window. You can write your name on it or whatever. There's certain things that you can do. Like, I was so amazed by it because I've never seen nothing like that. The fact that you could have a gun in your hand and you could cock it back and see the bullet inside and go check if you have bullets. Like, and then the motion that you actually have to put the clip in and cock it back to shoot in tough situations in the game. It just, I don't know. It just enhances the experience. What do they call that? The
immersion?
Yeah, you're immersed more. But to get away from that, because all the gaming stuff, have you heard about New York, how it's damn near orange right now because of the Canada fires?
Canada fires?
Yeah, but apparently there's a bunch of fires that happen in Canada, and I don't know how. Somehow, I don't know. I just seen images and TikToks of people saying that that the Canada wildfires were causing this. And it's all orange. Like the whole place is orange.
My ass is hella dumb. I had no idea New York is close to Canada. How the fuck is it close to Canada?
I don't know either. I was like, how the hell? did I get there? How did that happen? Huh?
Canadian? I didn't know New York was that close. I know Detroit is.
Let's see. Because we're dumb as hell. What do they call that? Like when you know your map? Like what do they call that?
Geography?
Is that what it called?
I don't know. So yeah, I don't know shit about shit.
Well, here's Canada. Yeah, see? Here's Canada.
Look how far New York is from Montreal.
Yeah. Well, this is...
Oh,
that's how dumb we are.
Yeah, damn. So New York, the state.
Yeah.
This
is New York, New York.
Yeah, New York City.
Yeah. But like that's hella crazy.
So
though.
They're talking about New York, the state.
Yeah. So let's see.
New York, the state.
Let's see the video. Is it this one? Yes, this one. I haven't even watched this. I just seen TikToks of people talking about it.
Air quality alert because of smoke blowing south for more than 100 wildfires burning all the way in Quebec. It's downright hard to breathe out there. At one point,
you see, like that's crazy the way it looks.
150. It's a level of pollution that is unhealthy. It's recommended.
Like if you don't know, if we don't imagine not having the internet and not being able to know what the fuck this is.
Why?
I mean, yeah, I think like that shit would terrify you, huh? It's the end of the world, huh? What the fuck is this?
And Weehawken and Teresa, it was like apocalyptic outside.
Yeah, that's exactly what people would think.
It certainly was, Natasha and Steve. You both mentioned shortening your time outside. Tonight we saw children who were walking, playing outside, coughing, pets trying to clear their throats. And as you can
that's
see,
another thing. I seen a TikTok of a dude. He was like, people are really raw dogging the air out here. They don't got masks. And he's like, how the fuck do they not have masks? He had his mask on, and he's like, how the fuck are these people walking around this shit, this apocalyptic air? And they're just inhaling that shit.
That shit like nasty.
Wouldn't that cost like, what do they call that? National or whatever the fuck? I don't know.
State of emergency?
Yeah, some shit like that. To be like, stay indoors, don't go to work.
Yeah.
Because who knows if this shit can lead to...
They don't give a fuck though. They're like, it cost us too much money. Shut the state down.
What could you see or not see out of the building?
You couldn't see anything.
The haze and amber skies are a result of wildfires raging out of control in eastern Canada.
I thought there was a local fire when I went.
That's crazy though.
Yeah, no, I didn't know that. I didn't know. Actually, I didn't know fucking Canada and New York were that close.
I know, it's because like Canada is real close to Michigan.
Yeah, to Michigan.
It's pretty crazy. Like, yeah, I know. Like, but remember I told you like Canada, it's like 2 hours away. Right? It's like 2 hours away to step into Canada from where we're at. And we never been there. And I'm like, what the hell are we doing? I should definitely go over there.
Yeah, freaking this would be scary if especially if we have nothing like to explain it. All of a sudden you wake up and the shit's just fucking orange.
Orange, yeah.
Like what the fuck? You would think automatically what I would think is like something's on fire in the city. Like something's fucking on fire like a motherfucker.
Yeah, that's all I was saying. Like, that's hella crazy. And like I told you, especially because people are just breathing that shit in.
What type of mask would you need though? Like,
I think there's certain types of masks. Like just when they said like the COVID shit. Like
no, that's not good enough.
There's certain ones that have like multi-layer stuff like that.
Filter. You know, I'm talking about the painter's mask, like fucking the one we bought for
walk around with a gas mask.
Yeah,
gas
with
mask?
filters, big boy filters. You need to have shit like that. You're gonna go outside.
I think everybody needs to have that, especially if you go in the attic and shit to do work. I'm like, and especially so cheap. Well, it's not cheap. It's like it can range from like 50 to 100 depending on which one you get. But even having the shitty one, the cheaper one that you can get on Amazon is way better than fucking breathing that shit in. That shit from the insulation shit from the attic and shit like that should cause cancer.
No, that shit is nasty to be breathing.
Yeah, that's why you have to have the mask.
Yeah.
That was one of the craziest things that I seen today. But another thing I seen today, it was a video about, this happened this year in January, about a girl who killed her baby. Like a newborn baby in the hospital. She had the baby in the bathroom and put it in a bag and threw it in the trash. And I was like, what the hell? Like, how can somebody do that, right? It was a young girl. She was 19. It just shows her on the video walking towards the bathroom. I gotta go to the bathroom. She goes to the bathroom and then she's in the bathroom for like 20 minutes. And the nurses and stuff start getting worried because they're like, she's been in the bathroom forever. And they would just stand outside the bathroom listening. And they said that the sink was on nonstop. They were flushing. You ever hear the flushing nonstop? So they're like, what the heck is going on there? And people started getting suspicious. So they're like, at this point, we're coming in because it's been over 20 minutes. And I guess they're like, we have to check on her. So they're like, hey, we're coming in, just so you know. And the girl was like, I'm just having trouble going to the bathroom. That's all. And before they went in, she walked out. So they walked in. Somebody walked in to check. And there was blood all over the ground. I guess she was cleaning it up.
Oh.
And they sent the person to clean the room because they seen there was blood. And they're like, oh, somebody needs to clean this. They sent the cleaning dude in. And while he was cleaning, he looked in the trash and he seen a baby in there, a full-grown baby. And they called the cops. They went to the girl and they told her, hey, we found a baby. Like, what's going on? And the mom was like, what? I think they were completely unaware. The mom was. I don't know about the 19-year-old. The mom was completely unaware that her daughter was even pregnant.
She's a big girl?
Like, what do you mean big girl? Like a chubby one? No. But it was crazy because her mom was telling her, like, what's going on? Tell me the truth and stuff like that. And when they told her, hey, well, the police is going to get involved because there's a dead baby here. Whatever. And she's like, but they're like, we have to take you, we have to, I don't know if they perform surgery because they're like, you're bleeding and you're in danger of dying too. So even though that just happened, we have to save you, but you have to give us permission and stuff like that. But they're like, they're going to take the baby, they're going to perform an autopsy and they're going to see what happened to that baby. Right. But I was like, why would you do that? Why would you do that to yourself? Did you not want the baby? You could always, I mean, there's always something else you can do. I mean, it's still wrong, I feel like, to set your kid up for adoption and stuff like that, but that's crazy.
It's too late. Huh. Like, it's too late to say, let me kill this baby. Like,
but why would that even come to your head?
I don't know.
It just seems like to a baby, and then when they seen the baby, it was lifeless. It was completely dead. So, and there was, when they would talk to her, she was like, I didn't know what to do. The baby wasn't crying. And it's like, but, so you put it in a bag and you throw it in the trash?
I think
especially like, how do you not think things through? Right? Like, you think people are not going to find the baby?
I know.
Like, I don't even know, but it's so messed up to see that people were willing to do that to a baby. There's another place. Well, let's watch the video before I move on to this other thing I want to talk about.
This is the one?
I don't know. This is just a news story about it. I didn't even watch this one because the video I seen was on TikTok. And they were just explaining it. So let's watch this one. But this is the one.
A teen went to prison for throwing her newborn into a dumpster. A nearly identical case, but it's even worse.
Investigators say 19-year-old gave birth to a baby and then threw the baby into a hospital trash can, where he died.
In the bathroom.
This happened in Artesia. Lauren Green is breaking this case down for us. Lauren, in the Hobbs case, the baby remarkably survived. That didn't happen this time.
Yep, that's exactly right, Ryan. Investigators say the woman gave birth at 38 weeks, but hospital staff found this newborn baby
they say
boy
the baby
dead
was
in the
fully
bathroom
grown.
Trash at Artesia General Hospital. This is 19-year-old Alexi Treviso. She had no prior criminal history before this. Investigators say she gave birth to the child back in January, but she was just charged yesterday. Now, investigators say in late January, Treviso entered Artesia General Hospital complaining of lower back pains. That's when nurses discovered she was pregnant. Treviso then locked herself in a hospital bathroom for a long period of time, where nurses found her inside with the bathroom covered in blood, according to investigators. They also say nurses tended to Treviso when housekeepers came in to clean up the bathroom. That's when they discovered a heavy trash bag buried underneath other trash, and inside a baby boy not breathing. Treviso's lawyer is blaming the hospital.
I think this has
is a horrific case of a young person who goes for help to the right place, the only place in that community, the place in that community you should be at. She went there for help, and this is the result.
Now, investigators say the baby boy died from a lack of oxygen.
See, so it makes me believe that the baby was alive.
Fine. I think the baby was fine.
And then she just put it in a bag and then left it there for 20 minutes.
I think this
and then
is,
while with that 20 minutes, and the baby died.
I think this is multiple things played a factor, and I think it's like her being a kid, her not being fully there yet mentally as far as development. It's probably, I have no idea, but it just, I don't know. I can't understand how you can have this baby in your hand, especially being a mother, and then just not giving no care, like zero care about the baby, and just to be able to put it into a bag, like
and then
nothing.
just throw it in the trash.
Yeah, it seems like to be able to whatever it is inside you that humans have to care and nurture for their young, like that's instinctive. It's like you.
That's what I'm saying. Like the average person wouldn't do that, but why would this kid do that?
I don't know.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, how can what she was obviously missing? Like, how does that not register? Like, you're having a baby, even if you didn't want the baby, you don't like. It's because I think I don't know. I guess people just don't think. Because how do you think you're gonna put it in a bag and put it in? That's murder.
And you
could just have the baby and then figure out if you really don't want that baby, you could set it up for adoption. You could do a bunch of things. But you don't go to murder. You don't just throw them in the trash can.
I think people don't really think things through, and I think they think that there's no other way.
In the moment, huh?
Yeah, in the
I
moment.
think people are just not good to respond to something when they're in panic mode. I think when you're in panic mode, you need to like chill.
I think panic mode is too early on. Like you know how a lot of times when it's different for multiple people, but I feel like depending on how you grew up, where you grew up, that panic mode is a lot harder to achieve when you've been through some shit already. It's a lot harder because you're.
But I think a lot of people panic, but I think it's like I seen like sometimes I would see my mom panic, and like when she lost her wallet, she would like, and I'm like, relax, like no need, like we'll just chill. Let's think, Let's instead of panicking. I don't know what it is, but like instead of panicking, let's just okay. Where's the last place you put your wallet?
Or do you remember having?
But it's because you're like, oh shit, my money's in there, my wallet, my things in there, my social security or whatever. And you're like, fuck, you can't imagine losing that shit. So it puts you in a panic mode. But a lot of times when something happens to me, I don't panic. At least I try not to. I don't really, I just think like, oh, where did I put it? Where's the last time I seen this? Because it's panicking gonna fix shit.
Yeah.
So I just think, when that happens, I just try to think to the best of my ability. There's a what I was gonna say is that there's this location, I forgot where it was at, and it has like a slot in the wall and like a hole in the wall where they say you can put your baby there if you don't want them. I don't know if it was because in that area they were finding a lot of babies in dumpsters, so they were like, don't throw your baby away, give it to us anonymously. You could just put it in this box and somebody will pick up the baby. And it's like, and people did that. They would drop their baby off.
Like newborn baby?
Yeah, like newborn babies or like
10-year-old just
well, it was
nah,
because it was a small box. So it had to be like a young baby. But I'm like, yeah, that wasn't the way. I don't know what was going on in that girl's life or what would make her think like that. I don't know. I'm not gonna just, I don't know. I can't really just, I don't know her story. I don't know anything. Even though what she did was hella wrong, I don't know. I can't just sit here and talk shit about her. Thank you for listening to the AB podcast. You can follow us in the links below. All our social medias are linked there. If you want to buy some merch, the merch that we're usually wearing in the podcast, you can buy it as well. The link will be below.